Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Edna J. White, and you are on another episode of What About This? This is your destination to learn the passionate stories of amazing people. 15 minutes or a great advantage just for you. I wanted to talk to you about today childhood sexual abuse and protecting your children. Okay, so everyone knows me. If you know anything about my past, you know anything about my story, you know that I'm a childhood sexual abuse survivor. I've survived not just by myself, but I've been able to survive and be able to thrive. I am passionate about preventing abuse. Because I lived through it, I know what it's like to be in it. And parents think that they're helping us by getting us another father or support system of some sort. And yes, maybe you have to drop your children off to someone to watch them while you're working. But be very vigilant about caring for them. Don't just leave them in the hands of monsters. And then just don't invite people into your home that you only met for a week online. Your home is supposed to be the place of safety for any child. Children can't fight back. Children can't cry. Children cannot say no. All they can do is be quiet and listen to adults, because that's what you taught them. So when it comes a time that you see something weird or off, don't just say, oh, let me ask my child. No, let me get the infiltrator, the perpetrator, the vampire out of my house. We have to be more responsible people. We have to have legacies. These are our children are our legacy. God linked them to us. Whether we did it too early or too soon, that's up to us. But then we should take more responsibility. Ladies, young ladies, old ladies, middle-aged ladies, be very careful. If you haven't Googled your man that you met a week ago, if you haven't called on any of these companies to find out who he really is or look up their records, be very careful. And then just don't second guess it and say, oh, he changed. You don't know he changed because you only known him a week. It's time to stop being so ignorant and filling the TV shows with all this garbage that you don't use your common sense. Common sense is what makes things work. And then let me just roll over. I'm not even talking about home. I'm talking about church. Church. I was one of the first ones in my community to create a program just for sexual abuse victims. I had 30 students in a group that were abused. And guess what? From 9 to 15. It's not something that is going to go away if we're not careful. We're not doing the things we need to do as parents, as sisters, as brothers, as builders of legacy. We're not doing it. We're making other people responsible. We're not going to school appointments, and we're not going to PTA meetings. We're not doing it. And we say it's because of work, but is it really? All of us have the same amount of hours in the day. We need to stop comparing ourselves to the next woman or man. And we need to be responsible for our children, our legacies. Because our legacies mean something. And they're important. But if they're broken too early, too soon, then there's a whole lot of repair work that has to be done. And from what I've seen, no one's doing any repairs. When are we ever going to get it that Children are something that God has really blessed us with. Whether we did it too early or too soon, not the point. The point is that we were gifted those individuals to impart something special in them. Sure, you can, this happened, okay? But when are you going to redeem that? When are you going to do something about it now? When are you going to really seek the help that they need and you need? We have to start being more responsible instead of going out, getting our nails done, buying these cars that we can't afford. Oh no, we're not buying them. We're financing cars we can't afford. We're getting hair weaves and we're getting hair done and makeup done that we can't afford, but we're not spending the money where it belongs, investing in ourselves and our families and our children. See, that's the whole thing. We're not investing the money the right way. Our children are our legacy. We don't teach them how to save money. We don't even give them allowance. So we got these new people in our houses, these monsters, these people who could be physically abusing, could be mentally abusing them, could be verbally assaulting them, and we allow them in our home and we don't give them no allowance. Oh yeah, sure, we buy them nice shoes and stuff like that there, but we don't teach them the value of money. And you wonder why they always want something? Because they don't know the value. You didn't teach them that this is $10. You didn't teach them this is $1. You didn't teach them how to go to the counter and get some change. We are responsible for our children. Abuse. That's abuse when we don't teach them and train them the right way. It's abuse. Okay, so we didn't learn it. Now what's preventing you now? We got all this internet that we can learn and teach our children. So what's our problem now? There's always going to be an excuse because we're always going to put it off on someone else. But when is the excuses going to stop? When are they going to end? When are you going to find a reason to stand up and say, it ends today? I don't know. The numbers I see, the rage that I see in our young men and women came from somewhere. And it's not just being mad right now at police officers or seeing their dads in prison or their brothers in prison. It's more than that. And we got to be more vigilant about teaching them financially, by teaching them sexually, just about sex in general, about teaching them how to protect themselves, that their body belongs to them, by teaching them how to get change at the store, by teaching them how to read and take time to read, by teaching them how to be social and be able to talk to someone else with please and thank you. Yeah, we're responsible for some of this. We need to take a real look at ourselves and say, what was our contribution to this anger? Hey, I'm not beating up women. I'm not even beating up men. I'm just beating up the bad habit that we have of allowing a perpetrator, allowing hopelessness to enter into our legacy. It's time for us to stand up strong, guys. Stand up strong. And remember that our children are a gift. They're not to be abused. They're not to be taught. They're to be educated and well balanced. And that comes from us. Doesn't come from nobody else. It comes from us. So yeah, I have those issues too. You know, I did the best that I can with what I had. But as I go along and I learn more, I give them more. And I teach them more. That's what you got to do. As you learn, you teach them. Pour into them. No matter what age they are. It's never too late to say, I'm sorry, and let's do this again. Let's work this out. Start from here. We want to be more responsible with the lives that we're given. It's not just going out here and being an essential worker or helping somebody else or feeding the hungry, or it's none of that. What you doing with your home? And then we have, the proverbial before the pandemic, going to church and leaving our children at church. Well, I hate to tell you, if you read the Bible, the church is where sick people went. So in that church is some sick folk. If there was no doctors in there mending them, no psychiatrists that they was going to visit, guess what? They're still sick. All they're doing is praising God in their sickness. So be very careful with your children. Around anybody. Excuse me. Around anybody. Be very careful. Because wolves are in sheep's clothing. This is Edna J. White. If you have any comments, let me know. I like to challenge the thought, and I'm definitely excited about what's coming in the next week. We are going to have a devotion just for businesses and authors, and we're going to be sharing their stories. So you will definitely have a lot of people who are passionate about their business, their life, and you'll be able to hear it from their amazing stories. And they're going to have their 15 minutes of fame right here. So you stay tuned. If you have any questions for them, you have any comments, guess what? You can leave a comment right there on the episode itself. But remember, I just want you to be challenged about everything you do. This is real talk about real stuff here. This is Edna J. White signing off. You can reach me on Facebook at Life Purpose Coaching, Speak Mags, or you can find me on Instagram at EJW Coaching. Signing off.